Madam, is it visible?
Sir, recording is not. I mean, sorry, your screen sharing is not yet started, sir.
1 minute, 1 minute. కాదు నేను దానిలోకి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. కాదు ఇప్పుడు షేరింగ్ స్క్రీన్ షేరింగ్ అయితే just 10. Is it, madam, visible?
No, sir, not yet, sir.
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, present screen. Present now. Entire screen. Then sharing. Share.
Yes, sir, it started just now.
Okay. Thank you. For delay, little delay for 10 minutes. So, participants, you are learning this quantum computing from 18th January onwards. Is it audible, my voice?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, yesterday and today is actually what is the quantum computing? Up to from 18th to 20th, just you learn that what are the fundamentals to execute the algorithms. So in quantum computing, you are having the mainly 4 algorithms. One is that Duet's algorithm, Duet-Jozsa algorithm, Grover's algorithm, Siemens algorithm, and Shor's algorithm. So come to this, any algorithm, you required all the basics, is it or not? So for what you learned, just you recollect it. So you started that how that qubits will be found by background of the quantum mechanics, is it or not? Then we went for mathematical foundation, that is the vector spaces. So that whatever the quantum mechanics and vector spaces together, it will form the basis for quantum computing, is it or not? Then quantum information, quantum teleportation. Then later part is very important here, that a logic gates, is it or not? Classical gates and quantum computing gates. So both type of gates are very important. If you know that, familiar with the gates, then with help of the gates you can able to find out, you can able to build a circuits in such a way to execute the algorithm, is it or not? Then come to, because of shortage of time, I'll go quickly because without this Duet's algorithm and Duet-Jozsa algorithm, this is incomplete of the quantum computing. So that what is exactly Duet's algorithm? That this is nothing but this algorithm is designed on simple and single qubit. What is single qubit? You know that 0 or 1, or linear combination of 0 or 1. Linear combination of 0 or 1. When you are writing the linear combination of 0 or 1, that is nothing but a quantum state. A quantum state nothing but represents a representation of the cubic bits. If a single bit, what is that quantum state? Psi is equal to alpha times of 0 plus beta times of 1, is it or not? Then how this linear combination of single bits you can write as a function, mathematical function here. You know that all of you, is it or not? Function of x is equal to 0 if x is equal to 0. Function of x is equal to 1 if x is equal to 1, is it or not? This simple function. What do you mean by this function? This is nothing but identity function or a constant function. If whatever the value can give, x is equal to 0 means you can get the 0, x is equal to 1 means 1, x is equal to means you can get the f of t is equal to, that means nothing but a constant function, or you can say that identity function. So other than that, what here, if you define a same function, f of x is equal to 0, 1, in other way, if x is equal to 1, you are representing 0, if x is equal to 0, you are getting 1. So that this function also you have to define. What is that here? Above function, if you are calling identity function, this function is nothing but we are calling in different way, that is called a balance function. What is the balance function here? So that same function you define for x is equal to 1, 0, x is equal to 0, 1. So what I mean by the result of this is, F of 0 is not equal to f of 1. The result is f of 0 is not equal to f of 1. What is the constant function? F of 0 is equal to 0, f of 1 is equal to 1. Is it or not? So it is against to that constant function. F of 0 is not equal to f of 1. This function is called as a balanced function. So he created the two functions on single qubit. One is a constant function, other one is a balanced function. Is it or not? These two shapes. So what is the use of this? What is the use of this constant function or identity function or balanced function? So use of this is, if you consider a single qubit, what is the aim of this algorithm? With help of the single click, we came to know that a given function gives us a constant or identity function or a balanced function. Is it or not? If we consider single qubit, then you want to know the result. You want to know the result with a single click. You have to at the same time, it is not a constant function, it should be a balanced function. Like that, you can able to classify two function at a time with a single click. Followed here. So that is a aim of the Duet's algorithm. With a single click, you have to get the multiple outputs. So that is called a Duet's algorithm. So here, if you consider the single qubit, how you can build a block box or a oracle. Is it a mathematical function? I given that one is identity function, other one is a balanced function. Is it clear? Is it clear? Balanced function. What is the aim of this function here? For a given a single click, you have to get a multiple outputs. Multiple outputs here, we are getting only two outputs here. Either it is a constant function or a balanced function. So let us say then how to build up this is. We need a circuit. Is it or not? Circuits are a logical gates or quantum gates we required. What are the quantum gates you learned so far here? So for that, one of our resource person given the complete information about the gates. Is it or not? Quantum gates, logical circuits and gates and quantum gates. So one of the important gate is here. He taught to you. As we know that ADMAT gate of 0 is nothing but ADMAT. If you give the 0 input to single qubit to the applying on ADMAT gate, then what is the result of this is 0 plus 1 by root 2. If it is apply that 1 qubit on ADMAT gate, you are getting 0 minus 1 by root 2. Because your single qubit is involved by either 0 or 1. If you apply the ADMAT gate on 0, you are getting 0 plus 1 by root 2. If you apply that 1 on ADMAT gate, this is 0 minus 1 by root 2. Is it or not? So if you put it this ADMAT gates in series, if you put this ADMAT gates on series, you can get the same output as same as that input. If you ADMAT gates, if you can arrange in a series form, then you are getting the same input, output is as same as that input. Is it or not? If you put it parallel, then you have to use the inner product of the ADMAT gates. What is inner product of ADMAT gates? H into H, that composite of H into H of 0 into 1. Then you can get the different results. If you put it that ADMAT gates in series, you have to get the same H only output. If you put it in parallel, ADMAT gates are in parallel, you have to get the different combination of the 0, 1, 0, 0 like that. You can get the different results. So this is what you learn in a Duet's algorithm. One is the construction of mathematical function. Other one is what is that here? You have to know that ADMAT gates. With help of the ADMAT gates, after knowing the ADMAT gates, what you have to do? You have to build up a black box or oracle. What is that here? See that this. So Caesar told all that here gate functions, your logic circuit gates will function in the black box here. So what we are applying, let us take 0 is a quantum bit 0 is applying on ADMAT gate. What is the output of the ADMAT gate here? You know that 0 plus 1 by root 2. Is it or not? Then if it is in the black box, then what is that here? Here one is that X, we can get it here. Again, if you take another, let us say this is 1, not 0, this is 1. Sorry, make it, this is 1. If apply the H of 1 will become a 0 minus 1 by root 2 of Y. So this 1 is called as a target bit. Then see that black box, what he will do here in the black box. So he told that not only that gates, he touched that C0 and CC0 gates. Is it or not? What is the C0 gate here? So what is 0? The control bit 0 will become a identity. Same 0 it will come out here. So target bit is here. This is Y is the target bit here. Is it or not? So this is all that operation will take place in the black box or oracle. Then it will come out here. What happens? 0 will come out as a 0. 0 will come out as 0, only nothing but X. Then again you are putting that here aggregate here. Then the resultant we can measure it resultant. Resultant also come out as a 0 only. So what is the target bit here? The solution will come out the target bit of y plus f of x. See that here, y plus f of x. What is the target bit is y. What is that here? Target bit is 1 here. This is with help of y. So whatever that is x values here, with using that c naught or c naught like that, you can get the results in the form of y. This is y plus. But this is an operation you can use y plus f of x. Let us say. So whatever the result, outcome of the result, you can put it y plus f of x. Let us say this box is a contain uniform transformation. What is that UF? It is represented by UF. Sorry to put up it here. This is nothing but U suffix of f. U suffix of f. So what is the U suffix of f that come? You are taking x is a in general x is a 1 qubit. Single y is another qubit. What is that here? This is nothing but see that. This is nothing but here composition of the two single bits x and y. Applying that UF, that uniform transformation. So this will come out here x of this composite symbol of into this y plus f of x. The result will come out here. X will be same. Then applying this U of f. What is x here? X is nothing but when it is coming to the ADMAT gate. When it is coming through ADMAT gate, what is x? You are getting 0 plus 1 by root 2. Then y plus f of x. Whatever the y here. So here, see the target bit will come out as a y. Again, it will come out a y. Y plus f of x. What is the y here? Y will not be changed here. Y will be 0 minus 1 by root 2 only. F of x is f of x. Now we can consider f of x is 0. Let us say f of x is 0 you are taking. If you take f of x is equal to 0, what happens here? Is it or not? Everything is same. Only f of x is 0. You can put it here. Then you make a simplification here. 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2 will become at 1 by 2. Then multiply this a plus b into a minus b. Is it or not? This is a composite. Composite means nothing but multiplication. So what is that here? 0, 0, 0 will come 1. 0 into 1 will become here 0. Here 0 into minus of this 0, 1. 1 into 0 is 1. And 1 into 1 is like this. Is it or not? Then now what you have to do here? You have to apply that U of xy is equal to x comma y plus this uniform transformation like that. One of the transformation. U of xy is equal to x comma y plus f of x. Just x is here 0, y is 0. What is second bit is y, first bit is 0. Just you can substitute here. You are getting here. You are getting these symbols 0 comma f of 0. Sorry. 0 plus f of 0. 0 plus f of 0 means f of 0 only. Is it or not? So then 0 comma f of 0. This is 1 comma f of 1. This is what 0 comma f bar 0. The 1 plus f of 0 means complement. You can write f bar 0. 1 plus f1 means you can write f bar 1 like that. You can write complement of that number. Now what happens? You can write it 1 plus here. F of 0 is what here? If you can take here, f of 0 is 1. Now you can convert these values. If you convert this, simplifying this, you can get it here. Again by multiplying this, see that. Again multiplying this, you are putting this simplified form. This is again multiplying this, you can get this parameter only. So here, so what is f of 0? If we consider x is equal to 0, f of 0 is 0. If we consider this complement of 0 is 1. If we consider this is x is equal to 0, the f of 0 is 0. The complement of f of 0 is always 1. Is it or not? So here, this 1 by 2 can split into 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2. Is it clear? So what is that here? This combination of this, all these values, you can write in terms of like this. What you write here? 0 plus 1 times of f of 0. If you multiply this here, 0 into f of 0, you can get the same thing. Same all 0 f of 0 like that. All the terms you can get it here. Is it clear? 0 into f of 0, 0 f of 0 is there. 0 into here minus f dash 0 this is there. Then 1 into f of 0 is this is there. This is also there. This is also there. Okay. The simplification of all the terms is happened here. So now, if you take x is equal to 0 here, X is equal to 0, what I'm getting here, f of 0, here f dash, f of 0 means 1. Then 1 by 2 you can written as here root 2 into root 2. Is it clear? So whenever this under this product of this, if this is called as a register, first register, in the electronics terminology, first register, second register, you can call it here. See here, if it is passing to the arithmetic gate again, see here in the black box diagram, see that again if it is come out x is come at arithmetic gate, through arithmetic gate, what is the result? That is applying that arithmetic gate again. So this passing through the h arithmetic gate, what is the result of this is, again you can get 0 only, h of 0, is it or not? This is nothing but equivalent to h of 0 only. This is not 0 minus 1 by root 2. I am not bothering about this second part of the solution. If the first part of the solution is 0, that is called as the first register and this is the second register. If the first register value is 1, always if we can get 0, then that if we can get the 0, in first register we get this, we say that f of x is equal to constant function. So in place of 0, if we can get 1, then that is called a balanced function. So otherwise what you can call here, otherwise balanced function. Then how to work out that balanced function? Then you can change that x is equal to 1 and goes on work out like that, or you can change the values here, complementary values of this function here, you can change the values. X is equal to 0 here, see, you can change the values, you can get the another complementary function of that is f, balance. So this is what here. So what is the under note here? See here, end of the result, you are knowing that is it a constant function or it is a balanced function. By giving the by single click, you have to know that is it a constant function or balanced function. In case of classical computer, what you have to do, the bits are arranged in horizontal order. The bits are arranged in horizontal order. To know that here is it a 0 or 1 also, you have to make the two operations. But in case of dual solver, if the single click, you can know that either both the functions. Is it clear? So that's why this is a simple starting algorithm of the quantum computing. Is it clear? So now, so quantum computing, not only this is a single qubit. Is it clear? The quantum computing is not only single qubit, it is a multiple bits. It is n bits, n cubic bits are there in the space. Then vectors. Now what happens here? Vector space come out. So it is only single qubit is very easy. Dewars algorithm. Just compute that here. What is that here? Compute the single qubit with a 0 and 1. Then you take the arithmetic gate and a block box here. Block box is nothing but here the target bit place here y plus x, y plus f of x. You are taking f of x equal 0 and 1. If you take 0, you are getting some result. If x is equal to sometime x is equal to 1, you have to know that. But instead of here a single bit here, I want to take here n minus 1 bits. Is it or not? Single bit is not makes much difference between classical computer to quantum computing. But you are getting the same labor here. Is it or not? Working out this is. But it is advantage only if you can take the n minus 1 of quantum bits of 0. You can write 0 0 0 0 up to n minus 1 term. But last target bit is y only always. Target bit is 1. It should be like that only. So then what is it after Dewey's algorithm? This is that next one. Why can't we can develop for to quantum bit of 0 0, quantum bit of 0 0 triple zeros, quantum bit of 4 zeros like that. Why can't we work out that n number of bits? So that based on that, you work that is called as a dual. That is what is that here? Dewey's algorithm. Now see that Dewey's algorithm. What it did here? Dewey's algorithm is only worked out for on single qubits. Now Dewey's algorithm worked for n qubits and the n qubits as a input function. Where you can get n qubits here? That's a lot of physics is involved there. In the space there you have to lot of physics and superposable and entanglements. Is it or not? You required a linear combination of all qubits, and you require that is a inner product. When you can go for more than single qubit, we can require a lot of vector space. You require Hilbert spaces, subsets of Hilbert spaces. Total vector calculus it is involved by here, particularly Hilbert spaces. So how we can define this is Dewey's algorithm. This is what is the Dewey's algorithm. It is extension of Dewey's algorithm. Its extension of Dewey's algorithm is defined for n qubits as an input function. How you can define this is, this is a oracle. This is a definition of the function. Say you are taking a 0, 1 and as a, how many times here? As a n number of times. 0 you are taking n number of times. 1 is if you take n number of times, 1 only. Is it or not? So that is what is the output you have to get? 0, 1. With help of the one single click, you have to know that many outputs. That is the advantage of the quantum computing. Is it clear? Now, how to build up this a mathematical model? We can call the mathematical model, or computer scientists we can call a black box or oracle function like that. So whatever you can call this is, you know that you have worked out for 0 single bit. Is it or not? Single bit is 0. Is it or not? So as you know that here, already we did here in the last class, as we did here, quantum bits is 0, you know that. If you apply the 0 on h, you are getting 0 plus 1 by root 2. If you apply the 1 on h, you are getting 0 minus 1 by root 2. So then in general, what we have to create a not say how many zeros you can write goes on like that. Is it clear? As many? As many. So you have to get a number of bits, is it or not? So in case in general, what you have to do here, let you construct based on that single qubit of 0 and 1, you construct the general term of this. General qubit is x, applying that h on the general qubit. Just say 0 plus 1 minus 1 power of x by root 2. For x is equal to 0, what happens here? X is equal to 0, what happens here? 0 plus 1 by root 2. Is it or not? Something power of 0 is 1. So 0 plus 1 by root 2. X is equal to 1 means what I can get here? 0 minus 1 power of 1 is minus. So 0 minus 1 by root 2. So it is executing all zeros and ones with help of this, a general term of this computations. Is it or not? Put x is equal to 0, 1, it generates all zeros and ones of this resultant of this arithmetic gate. Is it clear? So first, what is that? Based on the single qubit of 0 and 1, you can generate the general qubit of x, which generates all the qubits of 0 and 1. In general, like this you can write. Remember this is, so if it is here, how you can generate this n number of bits on taking 0. So you know that if it 0 is 0 plus 1 by root 2. If it is 0 square, then what I can have 0 plus 1 by root 2. Like that you can go on write down up to n number of bits. So it is what happens root 2 into up to n number of bits, that is root 2 power of n, summation of this is x. Each x is represents this is it or not? Each x is represents even numbers here. 0, 2. Let us say I want to get only 0 for means you can take 0, 2 for all even numbers, you can get it this is. Is it clear? All even numbers, this is valid for this. Valid for 0. Is it or not? X is equal to 0, what happens here? 0 plus 1 by root 2. X is equal to what I can get here? 0 plus 1 by root 2. X is equal to 4, what I can get here? 0 plus 1 by root 2. So I want to get 0. The 10 number of 0 bits means what here? 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 times of n. X is equal to 0 to, let us say 2n minus 1. Is it or not? Here 2 power of n minus 1. Or else just x is equal to 0 to, you can write 2n. Sorry, x is equal to 0 to 2n. N is equal to 0, 1. All that qubit of 0 will be executed here. Now let us say how to build up the oracle. So this is you have taken a number of here 0, 0, 0. How many zeros you have to take? N minus 1 zeros you have to take here. Then you can, then last bit is this is important here, target bit. With help of the target bit, you have to measure that what is the output of this complete Dewey algorithm. Is it or not? So this is all competition will be takes place with help of the logical quantum gates here, C0, C0, like that. You can have that all. Here total this operations is nothing but UF. Again apply that UF. Is it or not? The output is same here, but here with help of the target, but me here C0, CC0 circuits is applying here. Here this is output will come out here. What is that? Y plus f of x. Y plus f of x. How we can compute that with n minus 1 of 0 bits and 1? That is important stage here. So you know that just now we wrote here. Input of 0, you are writing that 1 by root term 1 by square root of 2n. 2n minus 1. N is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 0. This is 2 minus 1, n is equal to 3. Like even numbers it will produce. What is the target bit? Target bit is 1. Is it or not? Target bit is 1 through ADMAT get 0 minus 1 by root 2. Then what is the output here? Entanglement, or we get here? Entanglement means you can write together this y plus f of x means what you can write. This is nothing but f of x. Y is also function, is it or not? So this is nothing but f of x minus x bar, that part. So applying that UF here, f of x minus f of x bar, take x is equal to 0 or 1, you can get it all this is the terms. X is equal to, you can write this minus 1 power of f of x. If you take 0, x is equal to 0, what happens here? F of 0 is 0, and x is equal to 0 means complement of 0 is 1. This is, you can get it here. Then this is what happens, x is equal to 0, 1, you can go on here, function will be changed. So you can get this one. So again you have to extract, the result of this is. Again you have to extract the result. Putting x is equal to 0, what happens here? F of 0 is 0. So this will become x only. X means what here? X is equal to 0, you are getting x, that is nothing but 0 only you are getting. Passing to the ADMAT gate, this is 0 power of n you are getting. So in the first register you are getting the 0. So therefore that is called a constant function. Otherwise it is a balanced function. So here we can able to extract that quantum Fourier transform, but it is a little cumbersome to bring it here. Okay, this is Dewey's algorithm, Dewey's algorithm. These are two important algorithms, very simple algorithms. But only thing is that gates, logical gates, plays important role in the quantum, in the black box or oracle of the system. Is it clear? Mamta madam?
Yes, sir. Any of the participants, do you have any doubts that will be addressed by the sir? Okay.
Sir will take over now. Swamidas sir, if they have that any doubt, just ask them to post in the chat box.
Okay. Yes. So the follow-on of this session will be done by Swamidas sir now. Please post your queries in the chat box. Sir, please start.
Can you see my presentation? Is my
yes,
slide?
Yeah, but can we make it full size, sir? Full screen? Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear. Yes, sir.
How much time do you give, madam? At what time?
We have around 45 minutes, sir.
Okay,
till 2. Our slot is till 2 o'clock, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Respected SOD, my colleague, my dear friends, so I am here to share some of my ideas towards quantum computing and the implementation platforms. For the last 4 days, you have been discussing various concepts related to quantum computing and the basis for mathematics and what are the applications. All those things have been discussing also. So the hands-on sessions you had. Once again, being as a computer science faculty, I would like to share some of my ideas in that direction. So once again, we will see some of the basics for reinforcing and what is the status of quantum computing and the landscape, who are the players and what they are doing, and we will see some of the platforms. Of course, 4 algorithms were discussed for the last few days. These algorithms are already covered. So from the implementation point of view, we will discuss. So in the inauguration session, or in the first day or second day, several speakers were talking about the quantum computing is a solution where the conventional computers cannot solve certain problems, certain complex problems. For example, there are certain problems which cannot be solved in polynomial time related to climates or the culinary and biological problems are there, and the human health related problems and the population related, the huge amount of data is there across the globe, and there are chemistry, there are various materials, the design of those materials. It is a very structures, very complex, and similarly the materials and fusion and nuclear fission and fusion. These are the very complex problems. Even though we are having a powerful computers nowadays, still these problems cannot be addressed with the conventional computer problems. So this quantum computing, as in the first day, some of the speakers mentioned, this is not a new concept. Though nowadays AICT and other people are asking or saying it is one of the emerging area. So it is not a new concept. It is there for the last 100 years from 1927 onwards. So actually, a lot of improvement was there in especially the last 25 years. There is a huge development related to this field. Till 1980s, he is the first person. You can see in this quantum computing interest in this kind of thing. So if at all you want to build a computer in order to solve a complex problems, you have to go with the quantum mechanics. So during 80s, 90s, at the time, there was no much development regarding this. That's why it is an unknown thing. So after 1980s, it was there was developed some simulations, especially this Feynman has developed quantum computing quantum simulation models. Those models are used to study the structures of materials and drug manufacturing and some other kind of thing. Some simulations were there. So as I said, especially in 90s, there was a big development starting with a lot of physicists and there are mathematicians. They also now in the recent period, computer science is taking a greater role. But initially, as in the first day, they said it is a quantum computing is a cross field. It is basically physics, mathematics, and computer science, especially algorithms, automation, these things. Of course, you can find a lot of electrical engineering applications like construction, experiments, and also chemistry. Also, it is playing a major role. So these are the people behind the quantum mechanics. Of course, nowadays we are having a lot of products like laser, transistors. These are the products of quantum mechanics, and also the electronic, each and every electronic devices nowadays we are using are the result of quantum physics in action. So here, these four people have contributed a lot. Of course, the basis for your quantum computing is the quantum mechanics. Based on that, these people, the Grover has proposed an algorithm. He has proposed an algorithm. He has studied in detail. So the probability calculation problem, he has proposed the solution with a time complex of order of square root of n, where otherwise the earlier algorithms were order of n, where he has square root of order of n. And Peter Shor has given a first computer model, presented a computer model in 1994. He is a researcher at MIT working for AT&T Bell Laboratories. And just now the Raj Reddy sir told an algorithm proposed by David Deutsch and combinedly Josa. He is a physicist and he is a mathematician. So the mathematicians and physicists are these are the people behind this. Now you can also see what are the major applications. Most of the applications are being solved by the current computers, high-power computers, but just these problems these problems cannot be solved with the conventional kind of thing, especially RS algorithm. The Shor's algorithm has given a solution, broken the RS algorithm. With RS algorithm, basically the public keys are created by the product of big polynomials where the security of that algorithm lies with the factorization. So the conventional computers cannot find the factors, where the Shor has proposed an algorithm which solve the solving of factors of big numbers, for example 500-digit numbers, such kind of thing. So security, such kinds of algorithms are there. So the RSA is no more if quantum computers comes into a real kind of thing. And similarly, there are other medicine, and there are no nanomaterials. This is another important area where the quantum computer plays major role. Nowadays, huge amount of data is available, very complex data is available. People are talking about machine learning and especially deep learning. So there are problems, deep learning problems, where the quantum computing is very much suitable for such kinds of things. And huge amount of data is, whether it is image data, other kind of data, huge amount of data is there. In order to do analysis of all such kinds of data, the quantum computing may be useful. If you see the history of it, has started in 1927. So the first 55 years, there is no growth of quantum computing, quantum theory. So here in 1982, that Feynman has proposed, created, developed some simulations. Those simulations were used in the drug and other manufacturing industry for simulation and verifying and study, analyzing the structures. And that was the breakthrough. After that, in 1994, Shor has created a quantum computing machine. And the basis for this quantum computing is the qubits, where the conventional computers use the 0 and digital bits, where this uses the qubits, where qubits allows multiple states. There are different states. Here, the quantum computers performs several operations simultaneously. That is not possible with your conventional. And coming to 2000, last Elon Musk has developed a quantum computing machine with 7 bits. And in 2006, MIT has come up with a 12-qubit machine. In 2011, DWare is the one of the first world quantum computer company which has started developing business quantum computers. In 2011, it has developed a quantum computing machine with 128 qubits. And next and 2013, 2 years later, it has improved 512. And by coming to 2015, the same D-Wave company has come up with 1152 qubits. And not only this, D-Wave and other players are also there. IBM is there. IBM recently in 2018, IBM has developed a quantum computer with a 50 bits. There is another company, Reset. This is 128. This is the development. If you see here in the last 25 years, there is a huge development. Why this development has taken place? There are several reasons. The development of nanomaterials, the development of VLSI technology, and other way, the knowledge was in the open domain. When the knowledge is in the open domain, that has given an opportunity for the researchers, scientists to use those, share that knowledge. That was given by open knowledge systems, open source software technologies, and these are the various things. So these are the main reasons. So there are different, we can classify all the quantum computing models into 4 different models. These models are dependent upon how they are going to process the information. The whole given input is going to be decomposed into multiple kinds of things. Based upon that, these computers will perform. So the first model is a gate array, where it simply processes a sequence of qubits. The other one is a one-way quantum computer. And one more is the adiabatic computer and the topological. These were discussed in the earlier sessions. But there are some technical challenges. One technical challenge is the number of qubits. As the number of qubits are increasing, the complexity of algorithm increases. As the number of qubits are increasing, complexity increases, more number of gates are required, more it tends to error correction. Now, the lot of research is going on reducing the error correction by keeping the performance at the same level by increasing the number of qubits. With more number of qubits, you can have more number of states like that. These are the challenges. Now, these quantum computers are available in different forms. This is one form of quantum computer where it makes is a photonic quantum computer. It uses the light. And this is another kind of quantum computer. IBM makes use of superconducting qubits. These are actually super cooled radio frequency circuits. This is IBM supercomputer. This is Rigetti is another company. They have their own kind of hardware. This is another IonQ is one. It is based on quantum ion type. These are the different quantum computers available in different forms. So why should we build a quantum computer? That is the question nowadays, because last 25 years, though the concepts were there in 1927, realized in the recent period, one of the another important reason for that is the realization of the property of uncertainty. This uncertainty has made quantum computer to realize. And there are other factors which are influencing. So if you see in the recent period, there are a lot of investments across the academia and government sector and industry also. There are locally and globally, a lot of investments are coming. Especially here, you can see this is the investments made by the countries. In Canada in 2015, $100 million it spent. US $360 million. In the European Union, around $1,500, especially $550, especially Germany $120 million, like other countries are there. In China also spent $220 million in 2015. Russia is also there, Switzerland, Australia. These are the various companies, various countries where whether it is the universities or the governments or the industries, all these are funded by various investment agencies, and also there is another $400 million investment. And second one is there is an ecosystem. Lot of companies are incubations are coming up, startups are coming up. There are investment companies. This Qubit protocol is one company which is investing lot of funds for the development and research of the quantum computing. The QLAN is another company. Creative Destruction is one more company. Quantum Valley. These are some of the companies, investment companies, which are funding, which are pumping huge amounts of data into the research. And there are software consultancy companies like Quantum Playground is one. There are several other companies, one Qubit. These are the players which are developing softwares, developing libraries for the development of quantum computing. And there are players which are manufacturing hardware companies. IBM is manufacturing, Wave is manufacturing, even Google is manufacturing, Amazon Web Service, AWS, Microsoft, Nokia, and these are the quantum computing companies. And there are also the technologies, Intel, these are the various technologies. One side there are technologies, there are hardware companies, and there are softwares. So this many companies are looking for the development of quantum computing. So that's why. And if you see the number of patents, number of publications, and also the number of qubits that are being increased, the size of the increase for scaling the applications, for scaling these computations, and the number of applications that are being developed, quantum-based applications that are being developed. These are the three different curves you can see. So initially from 1994 was the first quantum computer developed by Shor. So from that point, you can see the number of qubits may be 4 or 5 like that. After that, after 2002, the number of qubits are being increasing, applications are being increasing, and the computational hardware, the scalability is also being increased. Especially after 2014, you can see there is an exponential growth. So there is an exponential growth in terms of development. More number of companies are coming and more complex problems are coming. That's why there is a need for developing quantum computers. And these are the important players from the government sector. The US is spending huge amounts of money, and China is also there in the government sector, which are developing quantum computers. France is one of the major company, and UK is another company. So there are topmost, these are the government agencies, and there are top quantum computing companies: Microsoft, IBM, Google Research Center, IBM Quantum Computing Center, Microsoft Quantum Research Group, and the D-Wave Systems. The Toshiba is also there, HP is there, Intel is there, Quantum Information Processing, HP. HP is developing with a QIP. And Alibaba is also spending a lot of money for the development of this quantum computing, especially by sponsoring laboratories. And this is another company. It is an open source company, and there are some more companies. These are the topmost companies you can find which are developing or doing research towards the quantum computing. And there are also organizations and individual users, the Lockheed Martin and In-Q-Tel. NASA is also NASA is associated with Toshiba for developing quantum computers, and Goldman Sachs. This is a financial agency, financial company. They are also funding for the development of this. There is a special group, and Royal Bank of Scotland, this is one of the biggest bank, and JP Morgan, this is Morgan Stanley is another one more financial company. These are investing huge amount of money. And coming to Microsoft, what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft generally conducts the theoretical and experimental approaches to create quantum computer systems. And especially Microsoft, not only they are creating, they are also employing researchers, theorists, and experiments from various disciplines, from mathematics, physics, and computer science. And also the Microsoft is also offering internships for the academic community, for the research community, and institutions, research institutions across the globe. What you are going to get, you will be connected with those people, and you will get those platforms. You can do experiments, you can join with them. These are the opportunities you can find with Microsoft Quantum Computing Center. And this is one of the major for the initial startups, for the initial researchers who wants to work with the quantum computing. So the quantum computing playground, this is one of the tool, whatever you call it, is one of the platform where you can do a lot of experimentation with the quantum computing related, starting from your gates and basic programming. You can program, you can simulate the circuits, and etc. So simply, it is a simple platform. It is a cloud-based platform. So with a browser, you are able to access that. With a Chrome browser, you can access in a better way. So a lot of features. It will provide you GPU accelerated quantum computer, where you can write the code, and that code can be compiled and executed on the GPU accelerated quantum. The backend, there is a hardware which you can use for quantum computing purpose for simulating certain things. And you can also find a nice integrated development interface, from where you can write a program, where you can debug a program, where you can compile. You can already some work is there. You can fork and you can start from that point. It is a completely open source quantum computing interface, the tool. And you can also, whatever the outcomes you are generating, you can see, visualize in a 3D, and you can debug. Here in this platform, you can go up to, you can create quantum machines up to quantum computing machines up to 22 qubits, and you can also run Grover's algorithm, Shor's algorithm, time permits. I will show that interface also. It has variety of gates, like in the previous sessions, a lot of gates were mentioned, like Hadamard. There are other gates are also there, CNOT, and other gates are there. All those gates are available in this platform. And similarly, especially the IBM is another major company working towards the quantum computing, where IBM provides a lot of opportunities for the business people. It provides opportunities for the developers and researchers and educators, especially for the business people. It provides the IBM quantum computers for commercial purposes, commercial applications. And for the developers, it will provide a lot of algorithms which are coded, and also you can also code your algorithms in that platform using Python interface. If at all you have developed something, you can also integrate your workflow with the other high-level workflows. And also, as a researcher, you can also, you will get a lot of advanced computing research and best experiences across the world that related to the computer science and other fields. And also the IBM is providing a lot of other opportunities to the educators, to support the educators to shape for the next generation quantum computing innovations. It will connect the people, it will provide learning resources, it will provide technologies, it will provide tools and systems. Also, it will provide hardware resources for professional education, especially in quantum computing. The IBM is providing internships for the computer science people, physics people, mathematics people, chemistry people. You can make use of those services, as well as you can also contribute, because IBM is also working with in the spirit of open source model. Whatever you have developed something, you can also contribute to the open source that here IBM is providing Qiskit yesterday or in the morning session you might have seen. So that package you can also contribute. This QS Kit project, it is an open source, you can contribute. And basically, IBM builds the process. The number here, this process depends upon the mathematics of elementary particles that you are using. So there is a huge difference between this quantum computing and conventional computing. In the conventional computing, we use digital circuits. In the quantum computing, we use the elementary particles, which works with the principles of mathematics and your quantum mechanics. That is a major difference you can find. So here basically it makes use of, it uses the elementary mathematical particles. And the data atoms are the qubits are connected by microwave pulses. Here in the conventional computers, we use wires and other things. Here, the microwave pulses are used to connect and communicate the information among the circuits. Now the IBM is planning the vision of IBM is by 2023 would like to build a realistic a full stack quantum computer with 1121 qubits, which they want to made available to the public, and they want to keep in the cloud. They want to allow everyone to use that computer. So these are the people working towards that goal, reaching that goal. So the success of IBM is also they are using the Agile methodology, where the Agile methodology is an open source development model. That is one thing. And also the industry is providing a lot of leading knowledge from different disciplines. That is a key success of IBM. So the IBM is not just recently entered. From 2000 onwards, it is there. It is working towards the studying the superconducting qubits. And in 2010, it came up with a multi-qubit device. And 2016, the first quantum computer it has released into the market. In the recent period, it is having more than 2 dozen stable quantum computing machines. All those machines are available in the IBM cloud. It is made available to the clients. Those machines with a 5-bit qubit IBM machine, 27 qubit IBM machine. Recently, it has released a 65 qubit 2020 September, I think, if I'm not wrong. So it has released a 65 qubit quantum Hummingbird. There are different processes. This is a Hummingbird process. This is a Falcon processor. This is a Canary processor. The expected one is a Kondo. Expected one is the this Conrod processor. Here, another the specialty of the 65 qubit specialty is 8:1. 8 qubits are converted into a single signal, so that can be transmitted. Because the 8 are converted to single, the number of wires, the number of components it reduces, and also it is improving the scaling of increasing the scaling of qubits, and by maintaining the preserving the performance as like a Falcon process maintains. At the same time, less signal processing time between the gates. By every gate will take lesser time, so that is a specialty. So the next year they are planning to release 127 qubit, and 2022 they have planned for the 433 qubit quantum computer, and 2023 1121 qubit quantum computer. This is the roadmap of IBM company. Slowly it is trying to build the computers, and at the same time it is providing a lot of facilities for the different kinds of people. And another important company is Google is providing a lot of working towards this, and it has set up a AI lab. This Google AI lab is a joint initiative of NASA and several universities. The several universities formed as a group, as a research group, University Space Research Group, and Google and NASA. These three people are working on this. Actually, they thought of developing quantum computers that may help for their machine learning applications. Actually, Google AI lab is for, especially their focus is on machine learning. They want to build infrastructure, hardware infrastructure, rather than conventional quantum computing based. So this complete lab is hosted at NASA Ames Research Center. And another company is a D-Wave. This is the first world's quantum computing company. They are integrating new discoveries in physics and engineering manufacturing and computer science, especially in machine learning. and they are trying to identify different approaches for the competition. This is a wave qubit computer. And if you see here, more than 250 early applications, quantum computer based applications are developed on D-Wave systems. These applications, some of the applications, airline scheduling applications, election modeling applications, quantum chemistry simulation, and automotive design, and preventive healthcare, and logistics, especially supply chain, and hardware verification and validation. So already the D-Wave has produced 1000 qubit D-Wave. This is the D-Wave 2x quantum computer. Already it's there available. Toshiba is another company which is working with the University of Cambridge and Toshiba R&D division. Especially these are working on with 3 teams, and processing the quantum information, speech technology, and computer vision. This is a computer vision completely while you are driving a car. Completely each and every particle that computer can analyze and predict whatever the decision you want to take. This is Toshiba is working in these 3 areas. Intel is also working. It has joined with QTech in 10 years to company. Intel has joined with this, and also it is included working. This university, the Delft University, also joined. These are working especially on applied research. HP is also one of the technical giant. It is working towards the development of quantum information processing. There is a special group is there. So here there is a university, Bristol University of UK. If you see all these companies, each and every company is associated with the universities. All the research takes place at the university, and these the technology companies will provide technologies, and venture capitals will give the funding. So, being as academicians, we have to think in this direction. Alibaba is another company which is working, especially it is working towards the developing new technologies and platforms for providing these quantum computing facilities. Alibaba is also working. This IQB information technology is also, especially it is creating software towards the quantum computing. So there are the hardware devices, those are the technology and companies, and there are the universities doing a lot of research, and the universities are thinking and developing algorithms. The companies are funding and giving the technology to build the computers. So when we have built the computer, that computer should work. All the computers works with the coding. We need to write the programs for making use of those computers. So here quantum computer generally uses not only quantum processor, it also makes use of the conventional processor. There is a conventional stack is there here, classical control rack is there where it is the conventional computer. This is the quantum computer. So there is a quantum processor. So these are the 2 types of things. These 2 you have to control. You have to write the code for controlling these 2 things. So in order to write the code, you need to have the programming languages. You cannot write code from the scratch. You need to make use of libraries. Those libraries may be full stack libraries or certain libraries. And those libraries are built on top of your algorithms. These are the quantum algorithms are implemented by the people. And these algorithms are provided as APIs like full stack libraries. These are the QSKit is one full stack library, and Forest is another full stack library, and Kirk is another full stack library. And here the Microsoft is providing quantum development kit. This is the complete API stack where you can write applications here by using programming language like C++, Java, Python, Ruby, JavaScript, Perl, Haskell. These are the high-level programming languages. You can write the program, and if those languages can be compiled, these programs can be compiled, and they can, rather than developing the code from the scratch, lot of libraries are available. You can make use of those libraries. These are the library stacks. These are the algorithms, and there are the circuits that are built by using at the low level. And there are these circuits will work according to the code converted by these assembly languages. Ultimately, that code is going to be worked on the hardware. There are hardware on top of the hardware, assembly language. On top of that, there are circuits. This is a hardware, firmware kind of thing. And your algorithms are implemented. Your algorithms are nothing but your APIs. You want to create a machine with this many bits. you can create a machine like that. If you want to create a circuit, you can create a circuit. You need not write, just you call a method by using that corresponding interface. So there are different platforms. The Qiskit is one platform where completely it is open source, and here this you can see most of these are the open source libraries, open source programming languages. These are the things, and also there are platforms. So yesterday or today you come across with the open source platform, your Jupyter, you have come across with that. So the Qiskit, it is a Python-based API application program interface where there are interfaces package you need to include. So there are 3 types of elements. You need to create a quantum program, create a circuit, and you have to create the registers. The register may be quantum register. The register may be your general purpose register. As I said, there are 2 registers. And in order to develop the code, there are 3 different types of platforms are available. One, you without writing any code, simply you can drag and drop and create a circuit. So such kinds of platform, IBM provides such kinds of quantum computing interface platform, where in that interface you can find all the gates, you can find all those oracle boxes, oracles, the quantum oracles, where you can visualize, so that you can see this is one platform. Or if you don't have all these things from the scratch, if you want to build your code, the Qiskit Open QASM, if you know you are strong with the Python, you can develop quantum computing applications. You can simulate quantum computing related circuits, etc., by writing the code from the scratch. Or there is a Qiskit SDK, software development kit, where the backend there is a library, but directly you can include that library and call the corresponding things. So these are the 3 different types of platforms. So if you want to start, if you want to create a circuit, this is an API. Q_program get circuit is an API. It is going to create a circuit. And if you want to create a register key with the name Q1, a 2-bit register, 2-bit register if you want to create. So Q_program.create_create quantum register. This is classical register. These are the APIs. And also there are different types of gates. All these gates you have come across. This is CNOT gate and superpositions, the Hadamard gate. These are the gates with 180 pi degrees phase and pi by 2 degrees, and this is pi by 4 degrees. This is a mathematical kernels these gates make use of. So the X gate is just it will complement this, and Hadamard gate is going to perform your superposition. And this is a controlled CNOT gate is a controlled gate, and there is an entanglement. This entanglement is a relation, correlation, strong relation you have seen already earlier. So this is the algorithm. Just now the Rajareddy sir has discussed. This is the first quantum algorithm that performs better than the best classical algorithms. Before that also there were classical algorithms. This algorithm, the Deutsch algorithm, performs in a better way. And lot of advantages that are there. Here this is already built in with several tools. That is one advantage. Basically, that algorithm, Deutsch algorithm is a physicist and is a mathematician. They have proposed an algorithm according to this algorithm. So the basis for that algorithm is as mentioned UF, that function. There is a hidden function, the black box. There is a black box. That black box takes the inputs and produces an output. That takes a number of inputs. These inputs may be 0, 1, 0, a sequence of a string of zeros and ones. This f of this input string is going to be mapped by the black box either 0 or 1, where this each and every bit may be 0 or 1. So for any input sequence, the black box is going to produce either 0 or 1. This is one thing you need to remember. And the very important property of this is this function guarantees that this output is going to be either constant or balanced. Here, this function, this hidden function is said to be a constant. If it produces, for any input, it produces 0. Irrespective of the input, it produces 0. or for all the inputs it produces 0, or all the inputs it produces 1, then it is called constant function. Whereas a balanced function is, it is said to be a balanced function if it produces for half of the bits 0, but the rest of the half of the bits it produces 1, then it is called a balanced function. So your Deutsch algorithm is going to determine whether a function is a balanced function, or that is whether the system is a balanced, or it is a constant. For all the inputs, irrespective of the input states, if it produces 0, or sometimes it may be 1 also, for all the states it produces 1, or for all the states it produces 0, it is called a constant function. For half of the bits it behaves like a 0, for rest of the half of the bits produces 1, then it is a balanced function. This is the one thing. So actually it is a n-bit function. So this takes zeros and ones. For example, let us take the size of this input string is, let us n. There will be 2 power n combinations are possible. There are two, for example, the size of this input is two string. It is a 2-bit input string. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. 4 states are possible. For example, it is 3, it is a 6 states. It is a 16, it is a 4-bit sequence. 2 power 16 states are available. In order to prove whether it is a stable or constant, so 50% of the samples you have to test. Starting from, for example, it is a 3-bit you have taken. So 8 combinations are possible. 8 combinations are possible. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 1, 0, 0. The first 4 combinations, if it produces 0, and the fifth one is 0, 1, 1. The 1, 0, 0. If it produces 1, for 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, it produces 1, then the function is said to be a balanced function. So irrespective of the input size, first half of the bits it produces one state, but the rest of the bits produces another state, then you can say it is a balanced state. In order to prove whether it is a balanced or not, at least you have to check first half plus 1. So that's why the number of combinations that are required, is, if there are n bits are there, 2 power n minus 1 plus 1. For example, it is the 4 bits are there, 16 possibilities are there, 4 minus 1, 2 power 3, it is 8 plus 1. At least 9 tests you have to perform. So in order to say it is 100%, it is a balanced function. So at least for a 4-bit input string, you have to test 9 states, the continuously starting from 0. This is one. So based on that, you can by using that as a basic element, basic function here. This is a black box. This is oracle. This is my quantum oracle. So it is going to produce either 0 or 1. So here it will take n number of zeros followed by. So here it is 0 followed by. There can be n number of zeros, and this is the Hadamard function. So in the first step here, this algorithm, the working principle of this algorithm is, so initially you will start with the 2 resistors. The first resistor is initialized with the 0 state, and second resistor is initialized with 1. And the second, you apply the Hadamard function. This is, you are applying the Hadamard function. The first there, this is resistor 1, resistor 2. It is initialized with 0. It is initialized with 1. So you apply Hadamard function to each and every. For example, n equal to 10. 10 zeros are there, followed by 1. So the second step is, first step is initialize the first register of n qubit. N equal to 10, 10 qubit register. Second register is initialized just 1. So we want to test whether the function is a balanced or not. So first half of the states you have to check. So the next state is going to be 1. So here the first register is initialized and second register is initialized 1, and you apply the Hadamard function to each qubit, bit by bit, and here bit for each bit you are applying. And the third step is apply the quantum oracle. This quantum oracle applying. So this function is going to finally, it is going to return either 0 or 1. So first half of the bits. And at the third step is second register may be ignored, and apply the automatic gate to each register, to each and qubit of the first register once again. So finally, this algorithm is going to produce either all the bits, whether irrespective of whether it is let us say n qubits are there, whatever the states, for all the bits it is going to generate only one. It is called constant. But later first half of the bits and followed by the next bit, it is producing first half of the bits, it is producing 0. Whenever it is added this bit, as in the last stage, if it is going to produce 1, it is a balanced. This is an important component in your kind of thing. Now I would like to take you to this interface. This is the playground. Playground is one of the, as I said, it is a completely open source web-based platform where you can do a lot of things. You can also, without sign also, it will accept you. So you can start with the basic examples. I can start here. So here you can find examples here. There are basic examples. There is a syntax here. There is a computing walkthrough. There is mathematical functions which are used in computing. There are commands. And if you want to simulate Hadamard gates, you can simulate. If you want to think other gates are also there, you can simulate. There are some things are disabled. At the advanced level, there is a Grover's algorithm, Shor's algorithm, and Shor's algorithm, Lip quantum. These are the various things. And here, this is a place where you can write your code here. By default, this is the first program that has already come from basic example. This is the editor area where you can develop. This is the output area where your output is going to be displayed. And here, if some printf statements or such kinds of statements are there, the text is going to be displayed here. Visuals are going to be displayed here. This is the output area. If you want to stack which functions are called, here this is a call stack. There are locals are there. While you are executing your program, there are several variables you are going to use. At every stage, you can stop that execution and you can check what is the status of this variable. So this environment, you can execute the programs, you can create the programs, you can debug the programs, you can use that your output in 2D plus phase, and 3D plus. You can also check the amplitude. These are the various things you can do. So after writing your program, you need to compile it. This is the compile button. This is the run button. This is the step-by-step you want to debug. You want to complete that step. So you want to go back. So these are the various facilities you can find. And after doing your work, you can save in your cloud, or you can save on your desk. You can give a name for your experimentation. This is the platform where you can develop quantum computing related things. For example, I want to compile this. So I can select this button, compile. Let me. Here this program has been compiled here. There is a success. This is because it is success. Now you can run this program at a stage. Now I run this program. So I can stop and move here. I can see in 3D. I can see in 2D. I can see 2D phase and simple 2D. These are the other parameters I can observe. So completely I run this program. Okay, I want to run step by step. Here I can run. Now this is the first step. Now this statement is executed. Now this statement is executed. This statement is executed. This statement is executed. If at all there are variables, I can also check the variables. As of now, there are no variables. I can step into that. So I can move on. So here there is a delay here. If I run the program as per the 10 seconds delay, this code is going to be executed. But I am executing debugging. Step by step, I am debugging. Now there are 360 iterations. So every iteration, I am rotating this. So here I can also do like this. This is one simple program. If you want to test other program, here you can choose, for example, is the Hadamard gate. This is the code for Hadamard gate. I can also compile. I can run. This is the output I have produced. So now this is continuously being executing. I can check the values. Now the value of this I is 4. I can also debug. And this is not Python code completely. This platform is developed by using C++, different programming languages. Yesterday or today morning, you had a session, I think, with the Python. This is another important, this is an open source. I can also go back step by step. I can also go back. Now I want to verify the Grover's algorithm. There is a here. This is a Grover's algorithm. They completely already implemented. I want to run it. First you compile. Already there are no errors. If you put something here, errors will be generated. Yeah, I can run it. Rather than running like this, once again I will compile. I can debug step by step. I can debug. Yes, next step I can. I'm clicking. This is the first qubit that was created. So how these qubits are being created, and also local status. These are the status variables. This is my Grover's algorithm. So you can check here what is the output that Grover's algorithm produces. You have to interpret all these things. This is the output generated by the target is 5, and the register width is 3. This is a 3-bit, 3 qubit. The register means the register that you have taken is a 3-bit. So I is a register width and target. Finally, the output is success. Similarly, I can take Shor's algorithm. This is the Shor's algorithm. You can see here the factoring problem. This is actually a factoring problem. You can give a different large numbers. You can check whether it is working with your factoring or not. This algorithm was detailed, described by the earlier speakers in detail. Just you are implemented. In order to implement this, you need to know the programming language. You need to know what is to be included, what libraries are available that you have to include, and you need to have a platform, and you can check it. So here this algorithm has a factoring approximation is 64 by 1. The odd denominator trying to expand. Here the possible period is 2. You can also here success in 53 iterations. It is able to produce that. So in 3D you can use the 2D or 3D, or you can use 3D plus. You can also check you can also normalize those things. There is one more algorithm. Already these things are available. Just I am running. You can also change the code, and you can also run. This is Shor's advanced algorithm, extended algorithm. So just I want to show you a flavor. If you go to IBM QSKit, a lot of ready-made programs you can find. You can write your own code. You can create the circuits like this algorithm. If you can go to it, this is the output created by this program in the IBM platform. If you compile this, if you try, it will also work. It is going to, you have to restart. Of course, kernel has to be created. This is IBM QSKit environment. So these are the things I wanted to share with you. If you want to discuss, please. Now the session is open. It is over to
Yes, sir. Yeah. I think we have one query in the chat box, sir.
Yeah, go on. Let me go. Great.
Yes. They are asking for a recording only. I agree with this, sir. Okay. I request the participants, if you have any queries, you can pose it to sir either in the chat box or directly. You can ask him.
Yeah, you can open your mic.
Yes, they can directly ask you, sir. That will be very good if they do that.
So you can suggest any books for where I can get these algorithms and programming?
Sir, here the success of all these things is a anarchic model. The thing is generally being as academicians, generally what we do is first we identify the book and go through the book, and later we'll try to implement. Rather than that, now our students are what the methodology our students are following. Directly they are using the blogs, they are using the net, they are directly going into the platform, they are exploring the things, and the reverse way they are learning. So that will be better. First you go to IBM Kioskit or any this platform or that platform, then you try to explore. In the reverse way, a lot of material is available in their portals, documentation. If you go to IBM portal, lot of documentation is available. All these algorithms are, you need not worry about the coding and all these things. The algorithms are already available. You need to identify that API. You need to identify a problem first. You have to design that problem to fit into this. That is a major task. If you are just a starter, if you are a researcher already developed some idea algorithm, then the books and all those things are required. But the starters, the books already, Raj Reddy sir has given a good book and a lot of books are available. Better you go to with IBM or HP or this open source platforms. Good documentation is available. You, for example, this is a quantum computing. One thing I will give. This is algorithm. Just I started for the last week only. Here, this is by Googling, I got this link where it starts from what is quantum computing, what is prerequisites, what is introduction, what are atoms. This is the best material where you can explore. If you don't understand, you can go to other. So don't think starting from basics, so like that. So these are the simplified things. Prerequisites, for example, what prerequisites you require. Even the algorithm is also there. The complete algorithm is also there. There are a lot of links are there, sir. If you want, book, Raj Reddy sir has given a good book, but it is very difficult to read that book, understand, because those things are not required. You may be working in a focused area. You try to identify that material. You first Google out, sir. Lot of people might have worked out the different ideas. You will get to know. If you follow the book, only 2-3 brains are.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions? I request the participants to post the questions either in the chat box or directly to the sir. Praveen sir, do you have any questions? You have been a very active participant throughout this FDP. Anu ma'am is also there. Anyone?
One suggestion I want to give is, I think most of you people are mathematicians. You have to work in a multidisciplinary. As it is this field itself is a multidisciplinary. So if you have an idea, if you have strong mathematical foundation, in order to implement that idea, you can join with a computer science person. And you want to work with a material related, you join with that researcher who is working with that. And if you all three joins together, a problem, real world problem, you will be working. So rather than working as a mathematical researcher, a multidisciplinary approach is required. You have to have some collaboration. So for having such collaboration, there are platforms. If you go to Microsoft, that platform or this platform, so you can find people by participating in the workshop, by registering with that. A community is there. With the community, a lot of things you will get. So that may be a starting point. In that way, in the reverse way, if you follow, it will be useful. In a faster way, you can get the results. Okay, thank you. I think no more questions.
Yes, sir, we don't have the question, but we are having a lot of appreciation from the participant side regarding your talk, sir. I'll definitely use those opinions that they have about this session in my vote of thanks. Can I go ahead with the vote of thanks, sir?
Yes.
1 minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Raj Reddy, sir.
Thanks, Swanda sir. So you covered total all the 4 days FDP program. At end of the session, you have shown all real-time world laboratory work is going on. It is very knowledgeable and enlightened lecture, sir. I am very thankful to you, sir, because you are very busy with other works. But you given time to us and deliver the lecture. Sir, if possible, you are meeting at 3:30 p.m. for our valedictory function. Please make
Yeah.
it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome. I thank once again. I thank the team and for giving me this opportunity, and I thank the audience for patiently listening my lecture. Thank you.
Sir, just a minute, sir. Yes. Sir, your session was really a booster to all of us, sir. It was a gist of the complete 5-day program. We have whatever we have learned there. There were, even though there was something which was missing or which was we were not able to connect, everything was wrapped up in today's session, sir. This session was really like it has given a complete whole feeling of quantum computing, right from the basics to the people who were associated with the quantum word, right from physics or computing side or mathematics side to the latest present world, right with the softwares that are associated. You have covered each and every aspect of quantum computing. Really, this session was very enriching, to be frank, very really enriching, sir. All our participants are very happy with the takeaways that they have taken from today's session. And sir, on behalf of all the participants and the organizers and CBIT, I extend a very big thank you, sir. Really, we hope to hear many more sessions from you on this topic and hopefully some other topic also, because it was going directly into our mind. We were not deviated at any cost. Thank you, sir, for such an excellent and wonderful talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome and thank you.
Swaminathan sir, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Shall I leave?
Yes, sir. Yes. Rajreddy, sir, shall we
Okay,
close the
sir,
session?
we'll meet you 2:30 p.m. Sorry.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay.
I request all the participants to join us for the valedictory at 3:30 p.m.
Madam,
Yes, sir.
just a question bank, just assignment discussion, just 10 minutes.
Now you
Uh,
will continue. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sir. We will have a quick discussion of the question bank and the topics that we are discussed throughout these 5-day sessions.
Madam, are you able to see?
Till now it was there, sir, but now it is.
Now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can.
Right.
Madam, all the participants are there.
We have 32 people here.
Okay.
We have 32 participants here. Yes.